Welcome back to the Hybrid Network, guys. I'm DC Luke, bringing you the newest DC Extended Universe topic video, where today we're going to be looking at one of the most integral aspects of DC Comics lore, the multiverse, and just how such a huge, sprawling, inter-universal mythos can work within the confines of the DC Extended Universe and the DC television universe. So, as it stands right now, we kind of have a big multiverse going on within DC media as it stands. Zack Snyder kind of introduced this concept within, I think, a few interviews about a month before Batman v Superman was released, where essentially he was basically saying there's a huge multiverse that allows them to do a bunch of different things within a bunch of different medias and allows a lot of different people to tell different stories about these superheroes. This is one of the reasons why we have two Flashes going on right now with Ezra Miller and Grant Gustin. This is why there's now two Supermen, which is something I never thought would have happened, and why we can have a Gotham television series, whereas we have a Batman that's currently in the DC Extended Universe. But can they ever cross paths? You see, one of the biggest things about the multiverse for DC Comics was huge crisis-like events. I'm sure many of you already know what this is, but allow me to just kind of delve into it because I love Crisis so much. Essentially, a crisis-level event is when the entirety of the multiverse is in danger of some huge catastrophic event or enemy, and multiple heroes from across the different universal barriers have to come together to fight this force. So the big question we want to kind of answer today is this feasible within the DC Extended Universe and the DC TV universe? In a sense that, can the different universes from DC TV intermingle with the DC EU to fight some huge catastrophic event? The answer is complicated. You see, there's a lot of facets that I think need to really go into this. In terms of explaining the multiverse, The Flash Season 2 already really did this to very well execution, I think, on their part. They pretty much introduced almost everything that makes the multiverse really work within the confines of DC continuity. And in this sense, they were able to introduce multiple parallel Earths within the CW universe, even including concurrent TV shows like Supergirl, which eventually will be brought into the CW universe. So that's also a really interesting aspect of that. Not only that, but The Flash Season 1 and I believe Season 2 actually hints at the aspect of some sort of crisis event happening in which the Flash disappears. Red skies appearing, the word crisis, it all harkens back to the original 1987 Crisis on Infinite Earths. But can this happen for the entirety of DC media? Sure, Warner Brothers owns almost all of the DC Pantheon. No, not almost. They own all of the DC Pantheon. This is one of the big things they have going for them. They are able to use all of these characters across different media and in the movies to their whims. But the thing is, as it stands right now, while the cinematic universe has all of these characters it can use, the DC TV universe is kind of separated. It used to be that we would have a CW universe with Flash and Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow. We would have a CBS kind of world where Supergirl is off doing her own thing. And then we have Gotham and Lucifer on Fox, which basically would explore not childhood, but sort of the backstory of Gotham City and the villains that inhabit it. And Lucifer was based on a Vertigo series, so we're probably not going to take that into too much consideration. It probably wouldn't have too much bearing on anything we're going to be talking about. But you kind of see what I'm getting at. All of these characters are separated behind sort of, I guess, universal barriers, being different sort of networks and studios. So can these characters come together within TV universe, and then can they even cross over into the movie universe? I mean, we've seen some sort of big things happening there. We used to have Constantine on NBC, and surprise, surprise, when that show got canceled, he appeared on Arrow, something that I don't think a lot of people were really expecting. They hinted at it for a while, and when it finally happened, it shocked everyone. This was like a big crossover event. And then we had the one-part event crossover between The Flash and Supergirl, two shows on two different networks. They were under the same umbrella company, but I mean, it was still a big moment. These were two characters that were separated by completely different universes, different tones and different sets and special effects and just overall production quality, and then they come together in this explosive episode, and it's just something to really get into and love. The fact that characters are able to cross studio barriers and meet each other. Eventually, Supergirl was brought into the CW, and she's going to be having her second season with the CW cast. Not to mention, all of the CW is going to be having a big crossover event. So this begs the question, would the TV universe, we'll stick with the CW universe as it stands right now, because Gotham probably wouldn't be able to contribute that much. I mean, Jim Gordon's, it's only so much he can do. So we're gonna stick with the CW universe. Can the CW universe cross over with the movies? Again, this might be iffy. There was a lot of things that kind of go into these big kind of crossover events. It's one of the main things that are kind of keeping, I believe, DC just kind of separated. There's just two different sides of this. There's a movie division, then there's a TV division. They both have different sort of ideas for where they want to go, and they both have different visions, and so crossing the paths might be difficult. That's not to say it would be impossible, though. Warner Brothers owns the CW. Warner Brothers owns, DC Films. Something can happen. Definitely. The bigger question is, how easy would it be? Which I think that there would be some legal barriers to kind of jump through. There would have to be some things that would need to happen for this huge event to cross. I think it's likely, though. They seem to really want to build up the idea that there's a big multiverse. They want to create separate stories within separate mediums, which honestly I think is really cool. Them crossing over, though, it is possible, I think. I don't think it's possible right now, though. I think possibly, maybe in a few more years, maybe 5 or 7, we can see both of these universes develop far enough to where they'll both be so expansive that they can actually come together and create a big event that creates sort of the culmination of two different universes, and maybe even separate universes that both of these shows create. I mean, the Flash show already has, I think, an Earth 2 and an Earth 3. There's no telling what the cinematic universe is going to be doing. So I guess the big question right now is, I think it's possible. I think it's feasible. The bigger question is just, how long can it actually take? But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Would you want to see a big event crossover happen between the movies and TV? Not necessarily have them just kind of exist concurrently for the rest of the slate moving forward, but more of just like a big crisis level event where everyone comes together. It would be kind of like the big culmination of multiple phases and slates of DC films and TV shows. But what would you guys think? Would you want to see this happen? Would you not? How would you do it? What would be your pitch for a big crisis level event DC movie? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for listening, guys. If you want to see more of our original content, reviews, podcasts, character bios, super sciences, and many more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button to get all of our videos as they come out. Once again, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on the next DC Extended Universe topic video.